Hello everyone, hope you're doing marvelously well. I've got this very nice Pearl kit behind me with a great sound, and over maybe the past 2 years I've kind of developed a good sound for this kit. So I wanted to share that with you to really save you some time, honestly to save you about 2 years that it took me. So the first thing that most people notice is the overheads are really high. Now maybe it's just kind of this room. I've also got this brick wall with a lot of acoustical treatment around me, so just having the higher overheads really gives it an atmosphere. Honestly, sometimes when I'm recording live, I'll just have maybe the kick mic, the snare mic, and the two overheads, and it's just lovely. It's beautiful. It's a great sound. I have AKG C430s for overheads, and they are fantastic. So those are my two overheads. They're really high, about 8 feet in the air, and what that does also is that kind of keeps my hi-hat out of the way. So I have another small diaphragm condenser mic on the hi-hats, and this gives me this very nice sharp attack. It sounds great, but if I lower the overheads, the hi-hat becomes overpowering. Even if I were to mute this condenser mic, it's still overpowering. I like a hi-hat to sort of be in the background, and then your crashes to really be loud, and when your chorus really fill up the space. So I have my overheads really high, and then I have this Audix condenser mic that I use as the room mic. Now I have different scenarios. It sort of depends on the song, but even though it's a room mic, it's very close to the drum kit because I like to have the ambience of the drum kit, but I like to have it all full and in one spot. So I also have it a little bit lower because I didn't want too many cymbals. This has great upper range, not too much lower range, so I kind of put it closer to the toms to get like air from the toms, but not overriding with the cymbals. This is also turned down a lot in the mix. Sometimes it's muted, it's sort of there, it's just an additional channel. We have 12 channels we're using. Now, I have an AKG D12 VR. This is a lovely condenser mic. Runs at about $500 US, but it's fantastic. One of the greatest investments in microphones. Honestly, I record with it and it's done. No EQ, no compression. Obviously I had those later in the mix. But just the raw sound alone is done. There's certain settings on here that are just unbelievably fantastic. So it's an incredible mic. I have another engineer showing up with another mic that we use on the inside. Now onto the snare, I'm going to show you an insane trick that I use to get an incredible snare attack sound. So I have an SM57 on the top of the snare, SM57 on the bottom of the snare, which is really classic, and you can see those, just a standard distance on both the top and the bottom of the snare. And then I have an AKG, this is a D40, honestly I forgot the name. These are tom mics, but this allows me to get like a good attack on the snare, but it's also fat. It gives me like some lower end frequencies, so not only does it add weight to the snare, but it adds attack, and it's fantastic if you really need some real rock like punch. You need natural punch to your drums before you start mixing. It's a fantastic go-to. So that's my setup. That's 12 channels, so if you have a 16 channel mixer, you're good to go with this entire setup.